Hello, good people of Era. Welcome to the Sperrins up here in the heart of Mid Ulster in Tyrone. My name is Mark Anthony. I identify as an Irish national. Today is a very special day. It's the 85th anniversary of this book here, which is the fundamental law of the land and the territory of Era. And it is the draft constitution which was approved by Dáil Éireann, the first sitting Parliament in the Mansion House in Dublin on the 21st of January 1818. And this was the one that was approved. So this was the day it was adopted, 85 years ago today, by the people, we the people of Europe. That's what it says. When you look at the preamble in it and you read the English on it, it doesn't translate it to Ireland. It says we the people of Europe. The people of this country seem to call it all different names, except the name that it's meant to be called. So, by definition, the government down south and up here, they're saying they're accepting this, the 80 years, as their working definition of the rule of law. So they're going along with it because we, the people, haven't challenged it until Rory got into court on the 15th of June this year. And it took a long nights, days, travelling up and down the country. Me and Rory met in Dublin. First of all, we met actually in Newry, but we first spoke in Dublin and got to know each other. And I went down there with this constitution. Hadn't a clue what I was talking about. I did, but it was down there to try and bring awareness of what actually was happening. And it was hard, it was really hard in the heart of the capital of the country. But Rory seen what it was all about, and he came to me and he travelled up to Cookstown to meet me. And from there we have built a bond like brothers. The two of us are inseparable. And we've came a long way, thank you. And the whole way through it, we've tried to remain in honour. And I know I'm on groups in Telegram and I would shout a wee bit and all that, but the main objective, what I'm trying to do in Telegram, is educate people to what I have researched fully and fully comprehend what is going on here. Too many things to, I don't believe in coincidences like that. There's too many things happening in these books here that we can actually pinpoint bit by bit what is happening. And it's disgusting. It's what I would call, it's a genocide on our people. This country has been in perpetual state of war since 1916, since the First World War. This was why this country, we are the jewel in the crown. This, where you're standing, is the biggest gold mine in the world. It's the 21st century gold rush. They're talking about it everywhere. There's people trying to get in here from everywhere. Canadian companies, Dalradian, as this site, they sneakily came in and they done boreholes. They went to, I suppose, vulnerable people and asked them could they drill holes. Gone ahead, aye, there's $5,000 or whatever it was, pittance. But once they get in and they found the minerals, there's a Crown Act, okay? I'll explain a wee bit more about that. There's a Crown Act, it's the Minerals Act. And they find the minerals, and then that means they can come in here and just take over your land. Because there's precious minerals, gold, silver, lithium, copper, cobalt, iron ore, everything that they're looking to run the fourth industrial revolution with. Ireland is called Orland. That's the way they're selling us around the world in these dirty places like Davos, with these big unelected officials, with Prince Charles and the likes of that. Like Prince Charles was in Cookstown there not so long ago. Them people are over here, they're not over here for no reason, like they're over here to try and lay claim to this soil again, 100 years round. History repeats itself every 100 years. Michael Collins signed the truce with the British Empire on the 11th of July, which is 10 days from now, 100 years ago, 1922. And from then, they had a war of independence. Before 1919, they came out with independence. They declared independence, and to declare independence, you would need to have some sort of war or something of independence to declare something. to declare you the winner. That's the way I would think of it anyway. They done it in 1919, but then they had a war of independence. And but before, in 1918, they set up the first government of Ireland, and it was acknowledged. The French tipped their hat to us. It was in the Mansion House, and here it is here. This was them all sitting. And this is the declaration. And it was sent to me yesterday. Some man sent it to me, I don't even know. He sent it to me. And me and Rory read it yesterday morning, sitting in my living room. And he goes, Mark, do you realise what this is? And I'm going, there's promises in this here that no man or woman in the whole of this island has ever experienced, witnesses, anything. 80 long years from the 25th of March this year, this book here was enacted. And it's a copy of the text. It's a copy of the text. The text is Irish law. So it's a debased form of Latin. And that is the finest form of debased Latin you're ever going to see on that front page there. And I can put my hand and heart in that. This book proves it. This book is the writer's, editor's, and publisher's choice. The Chicago Manual of Styles. This is the 16th edition. On the 17th edition, it's on page 666. You know, you couldn't write it, but they did. And it comes under foreign languages. And it's called American Sign Language. Sign language is visual gestures used by deaf people in different parts of the world are called sign languages. Sign languages are quite different from spoken languages, although they may be regionally effects of languages and contact. In particular, sign languages may or may not share the same national, geographical boundaries as spoken languages. In the same locations, the individual elements of the languages are known as signs. By capitalising words, only the illiterate going by this book can read that. And if you see Garda, you have Garda spelled in all caps. So they're just people coming up to you, acting as police officers or constables of the law. They're policy enforcers. It's the same with the police, the PSNI. It's police in all caps. You could actually turn around to them people and say, I do not understand the words, text, or characteristics used in your uniform. You do not have any jurisdiction over I, a living man. It is debased Latin. Only the letter, everything is written in capitals. Your birth certificate is all a trust. It's all a trust set up. The SETI Key Trust, 1666. All living men and women were deemed lost, dead, abandoned at sea. Never to return. And you have 7 years to return to present yourself as a living man or woman at 7 years of age. It's impossible. Then you're up to 21. That's why they give you the key to the freedom. You have 4 years after that. 25, then they destroy your notification of live birth. Now I found that out. I tried to obtain I have obtained my daughters, and they have lost my sons. So my sons will never be obtained. Rory has went one further, and he'll share that with you here today. But today, we'll not get off track, is about this here. We call this here because on the RT News, they don't talk about it. On the BBC News, they don't talk about it. On the UTV News, they don't talk about it. This should be a national day of celebration. Not St. Patrick's Day. That's a Saint's Day. 19th or the 21st of January, we were down in the remembrance of the Garden of Remembrance for Independence Day. And to me, it seemed like the biggest farce I was ever at. I was looking around me and these people were celebrating something which they didn't achieve in that day. On the 24th of April, Monday, they came out on the GPO steps and they read out the proclamation. That was a proclaim nation. They were proclaiming their nation. Then they went on, 1919, they came up with this, a declaration. They declared independence. The English sort of were reneging on it. And they marched forward then, and they came out with this. Where is the 1922, Roy? The 1922, they came out with this piece of dirt. And it's all in all caps too. It's written in all English. It's not, everything's English in it. There's no Irish in it at all. And that there is what led us up till this point here. We forged independence. We gained independence on that day, the 19th, or the 21st of January. We gained independence. We got independence on the 29th of December 1937. We adopted this book and we enacted it into full force of power, and it remains the longest running constitution of a republic in the European community today. And we don't celebrate the Irish language on the 1st of January just passed was acknowledged and accepted in every other country in the European Union on par with every other language. We don't accept it in this country. We're talking about an Irish Language Act. There's an article in this here, it says, the first official principal language is Irish. The second official language is English. Why are we looking about another act of parliament in a quasi... It's assembly. It's not even a parliament. It's an assembly. We keep accepting it. We need it. It needs collapsed. I'm going to invite Rory up here because Rory's a better speaker than me. Never. No, he is. Rory's really done me. Rory has stepped up to the plate, like, and I take my hat off to him. He's blown me away with the way he is conducting himself. He's conducting himself like a proper Irish man. This man here walked in that port, and this man blew me away. And I'm telling you, it got me to tears. I never tried to know a man in my life than I know this man for what he has came through and what he has done. From 2020 with his mother, everything, he has fought the system day in, day out, honourably. And I've seen how he operates himself. And it's an amazing thing to watch. People should learn from this man. He is not telling lies. He is telling the truth. It is on record. It was the first time I ever was in a court. And I came out of it. And I'm still in shock of what I had seen. The ripples, in fact, this will leave down in Irish history. It will. What happens today, you feel the effect 6 months down the line. Because it has to sink in with people. That brings us up to December. We are on course here. We are on course. The 5th of December, 2300 hours. You know what I mean? 2300 and 59 minutes and 59 seconds. I think is our time to get to the table, at least in the discussion. We, the people of here, we are sovereign, independent people. And we're not acknowledged as such. We have been sold out to the European Union, to England, to everybody but the Irish people. I was on Easter Sunday in Phoenix Park outside the President's house speaking with Rory, and what we were talking about that day, Rory enacted in the court. If you look back through his videos, like our videos, they're all there, and you'll see where we've came. We haven't veered offline. We speak our truth. We come out with facts. There's not one man in this country can prove us wrong with what we have. We have challenged anybody, the smartest people. We still, to this day, challenge any government official, anybody. We can sit down comprehensively and sit down and go through this. I'm a bit nervous here today, but anybody that knows me here today knows if I'm sitting down in front of you with this stuff, I can bang it at you like that. And it's believe me, it's relentless. Rory's going to take over here, and this is the book. This is it. We, the people of here, we must start acknowledging this and forgetting about this. You see, if you have one of these in the house, I keep this here because it is the very next book after this. This one here is an original 1942. It proves, it is the chain of being able to prove. So that'll never be through it. But if any one of you have one of them in the house, put in the bin. There is a PDF of this other one, right? There is a PDF of the original one that was enacted, the full force, the 63 articles. I made it last year. It is out there in the public domain. If any is wanted, you'll get it till you. Printed out in colour, on A4 pages, the way we do it. The colour scares anybody you bring it into court. You're bringing in blue into a court that's water. You're bringing that in, you're walking in as a sovereign man. I seen it. I seen it. Wow. Wow. I'm going to let Rory explain it to you because it is amazing. Rory.